Everything I do is a struggle. The gentamicin, it's caused the inner ear damage. It's that constant dizzy feeling. It's just an awful, awful, awful feeling.
Okay, we'll be back for dinner soon as we'll leave soon. I wish I could go with you guys.
See you soon.
Bye. Okay.
She wants to do things. She gets very depressed if Cameron and I have plans to do something that she used to do.
I remember her skiing, biking, like all this stuff, and now she can't ski. Like, it's more me and my dad, and it feels bad when we go skiing because like she has to stay here, or when my dad go rock climbing, she can't rock climb, or all that stuff. She can't really do the active stuff that we used to love to do.
People think that you're faking, that you're not real. It's, oh, you're exaggerating because you look normal. You must be normal. I know how I feel. And I know that if most people could step into my body, seriously, like give it an hour, they'd probably be vomiting in the garbage tin, get me out, like stop at this, you know, like it's like an extreme ride. But there is no escape. It's here 24/7. The hardest thing for me is losing my independence. Not being able to be the mother I want, the wife I want to be, all of that. And now this is my life. And I remember, you know, initially the first couple of months sitting here, just staring out the window and saying, this is it? There's got to be more to life than this. In May of '05, I went into the hospital with severe abdominal pain. No one raised to me the risks of gentamicin poisoning while I was in the hospital. I don't even recall the name of gentamicin until I was discharged from the hospital. I was nauseous, I was vomiting, I was dizzy. I felt like the room was spinning. It's like being in an extreme roller coaster and the ride whipping by, but you don't see anything. I didn't realize it was permanent until I saw, when I was discharged, a follow-up appointment 2 weeks after I was discharged. That's when I heard that it was gentamicin and ototoxicity, and that it was permanent and that it will not go away. I'll have to learn to compensate with this.
If it wasn't for Jan's insistence on going to a ear, nose, and throat specialist, we would have never found out the extent of the damage.
Thankfully, we found Dr. Rutka, and he was very kind and generous to us, and has helped significantly to develop a rehab program as best as he could to help Janice through.
People are given gentamicin for the treatment of very severe infections, but unfortunately the medication itself caused damage, and it's irreparable. It's there with her. She lives with her problems 24 hours a day. And look straight through here. I'm going to move you back and forth all the time, okay? Look straight through there all the time. But keep your eyes on there. Don't let them drift, okay? Keep them on there. Very good.
I fight it every day. I have to learn to cope with it and deal with it. I always feel like I'm falling backwards. When I stand up, I push my calves or whatever against the object so that I know that I'm safe. This island is actually my godsend because I jab my hip into it. It gives me extra support and balance so that I can stand here. And generally speaking, my legs are, well, they're pretty wide apart. I have a very wide gait. So it just gives me extra added support. And especially when this first happened to me, this was, I would hold on to it. This is how I learned to walk with any slight, you know, my sandals that just had a little bit of a heel, walked all around her. My physiotherapist would help me. So this has been my godsend, this island here. It feels so good giving back to my family with cooking because I know they appreciate it. Every dinner I make, I could serve my husband Elpo and he would say, that's great dinner, Janice. But they're so appreciative, they're so thankful. So I guess that's one way I feel like I can give back. You know, at least it's something I can do. I just have to change my method. I know that there's a very high suicide rate with people who undergoing this condition because of the depression. There's no way I would ever do that to my husband or my son. You know, I have my days where, let me tell you, I'm fighting the tears. It takes way, way, way more discipline being at home all the time because you know, I'm lonely. You know, there are days where, you know, the TV, like I feel like I'm wasting my life away. The isolation is the hardest. My lifeline is my telephone. Aw, you're so sweet. And vice versa. You too, hon. You too. Okay. I talk to everyone and anybody. Okay, bye. Even the Rogers rep. The sensations I still feel inside, when I really analyze, it's the same as the first day I left that hospital, but I cope much better with it. My biggest fear for the future is I'm going to take an awful fall, and I'm going to be wheelchair bound, and way before my time. I am one awful fall away from a wheelchair, and I don't want that life.
The thing was 7 years ago, and it still rules our life every day. We're a couple, but we're separated by something. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's there all the time. Gentamicin has torn a life apart. Jan's been far better at dealing with it than I had. She's my hero, I guess.